What's up, you guys? So I have another video. I'm making some homemade oxtails and cabbage. These are the ingredients you'll need: beef broth, jerk marinade, Jamaican jerk seasoning, Italian seasoning, browning sauce, garlic powder, onion powder, habaneros, thyme, onions, bell peppers, minced garlic, oxtails, of course. Now what I should have done was trim the fat around the oxtails, but hey baby, it was okay. So right now I'm just applying the seasonings. I do not measure. I just, as Tabitha Brown says, go with the spirit. What I know how to eye it. You know, my grandma and my mom taught me how to cook, and they never measured. They just eyeballed it. You know, actually all the women in my family that cook, that's how they eyeball. I mean, that's how they would season their food, and they did a wonderful job. Oh yeah, and that Miss Dash Southwest Chipotle seasoning. Can't forget that. So yeah, you're just gonna make sure you season up them oxtails. Oh yeah, and the Cajun seasoning. I forgot about that too, y'all, but you see it. But you want to just make sure you season it really well. You want it to just each piece of meat to be really coated with seasonings and the jerk marinade. I promise you, even if you don't know how to cook, you can do this. Anybody can cook. All you have to do is follow the directions and go with your gut. I promise you. So yeah, and oxtails and cabbage, it's just a comfort meal, man. Like, I don't eat it often because number one, oxtails are expensive, baby, and number two, for the most part, I try to be very like health conscious. Even though I'm eating oxtails, I still try to make, you know, really good healthy choices. So yeah, that's a special treat for me. So you're gonna continue to add your seasonings. Like, they add a little bit of the browning sauce, like maybe just like a tablespoon, if that. I'm going to add about probably 2 tablespoons of that jerk marinade, and I want to say I had about 15 oxtail pieces in total. So just trying to give you guys an idea of how much marinade I use for the amount of oxtails I had, and depending on how spicy you like, you can add more. And baby, I'm gonna use my hands and just get in there, because I don't see how people just use the, you know, whatever you call them, the utensils and stuff to marinate they meat. No, I gotta get my hands in it. My hands are clean. I'll make sure I wash the oxtails, of course, with water and lemon and vinegar, and of course I wash my hands. So I'm gonna get down in there and baby work that meat, get that seasoning all through there. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be good. Watch. Okay, as you can see, those oxtails are coated very nicely. Now I'm going to cut up my cabbage. I cut it in half, and to make it easier, you can also cut it into 4 sections to make the cabbage smaller. I cut mine in half, and then I slice it and like break the pieces up, and that works perfectly for me. make sure you wash your vegetables as well, your cabbage, your bell peppers, everything that you're using. Make sure you rinse it off really well before. Just FYI, in case you didn't know. Next, I'm slicing up my bell peppers and onions. I used one whole onion, and I used some red and orange bell pepper. Now I'm using the bell pepper and onions for my oxtails as well as my cabbage. So I like to use a cast iron skillet to actually brown my oxtail meat. Make sure you put some oil at the bottom of your skillet, and then I add a little bit of brown sugar to give my oxtails a nice coating. It gives it a nice, really rich brown, dark color, and it looks beautiful, and it gives it just a nice crust on the outside. So I'm adding a little brown sugar to my skillet. I'm letting it melt down a little bit. Now we're going to add our oxtails. Now, baby, let me tell you, this cast iron skillet is gonna get smoky, okay? Make sure your ventilation is good. Have your fans on. Crack a window, something. I'm telling you, use that cast iron skillet because you want the heat high. I had mine like on 6 or 7, so it's going to be nice and smoky. So make sure it's some ventilation in there. Now I'm going to sear the oxtail meat on both sides, approximately like 5 minutes per side. That's not in it's not the exact amount of time. It just depends on your skillet, how big the meat is. But yeah, you see that nice crust, that nice dark brown color. That's what you want. Then I'm gonna put my oxtails in a pot. I had to put them in 2 pots because I didn't have a really big one. So as you can see, 2 pots, filled them up with the oxtails. Then I'm going to add my beef broth. Now I only have 1 container of beef broth, and I split it in half. And then I added a little bit of water. If you don't have beef broth, you can definitely use water. The beef broth just helps to give it that extra flavor. Now, you want to fill it up like halfway. I actually put a little bit too much in there, but it was fine because I cooked it down. But yeah, you want to fill it up about halfway, and then you want to put the heat on medium or a little bit below medium, and you're going to let it boil for about 3.5 hours because you want those oxtails really nice and tender. So yeah. Okay, so I'm adding habanero peppers into each pot, a little bit of thyme. You can use a couple of sprigs of thyme or a couple pieces of thyme, however you say it. Add your habanero peppers. And if you don't have habanero peppers, fresh jalapeno peppers will work. Any type of pepper, honestly. So yeah, I'm gonna add that in, mix it up. Oh yeah, can't forget about the ginger. So yeah, you're gonna add a couple pieces of ginger in each pot. Now mind you, this is my preference. You don't have to add the ginger. If you don't like ginger, you don't. I'm just showing you how I make it, and when I tell you it's bomb, it's bomb. I add some bell peppers and onion in there. Now on my cabbage, we're going to add some minced garlic. We're going to add bell peppers and onion. We're going to add some of those same seasonings for the oxtails. We're going to add it into the cabbage. We're going to add a little onion powder, a little garlic salt, a little jerk seasoning, a little black pepper. When I tell you this cabbage is on point, it's on point. Okay, you see what is happening now, baby. That beef broth is working through them oxtails, the seasonings, the flavor. It's all in there, okay? It's going to be so tender, so delicious. I promise you will love it, okay? It's bomb. It's comfort food. You're going to feel so good. You're going to be so proud of yourself. The cabbage is working now. I add a little bit of butter in my cabbage when it starts boiling. And I have that on about medium heat as well. Look at all that smoke. Yeah, it's on a nice little boil, medium heat. Keep it covered. Check on it every 30 minutes or so. And I promise you're going to have